Hey, this is Owen. If you're comfortable, leave your first name and state at the sound of the tiny truck backing up.
Hi, Owen. My name is Vic. I'm from Rhode Island. I've called you a few times, but anyway, still love the show. I plan on purchasing your book. But anyway, there was a meetup in Mystic, Connecticut, and as you know, Connecticut, Rhode Island, all that fun. The fun states up here in the Northeast are
Yeah, I lived in Connecticut and I went to Mystic Seaport, the museum there, when I was little on a school field trip.
relatively liberal. And there was even a guy in a KKK uniform in this rally. They were calling um, people literally the F slur, the bunch of trans slurs, and I wanted to know what your thoughts were on this. Thank you, and keep doing the great work.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there that are just like morally debased. They have no bottom. They're willing to say and do whatever. And it is disturbing to know that we have like clan members around that are doing things like that, holding events and stuff. I've mentioned before, but since we're talking about it, let me mention again. I used to live in Milton, West Virginia. One morning, I wake up and I walk out to find this pamphlet, I guess, this pamphlet in a baggie with rice. It's the original Night Riders, the KKK, was throwing these pamphlets at people's doors. And the rice is there so they can chuck it from the car. They just go down the road and throw, throw, throw. So anyway, I on the back of the pamphlet it said Islamization of America, and it just propaganda. It lied about a whole bunch of stuff. Like they are replacing God with Allah in the Pledge of Allegiance in schools, and just so stupid. Anyway, it's crazy to me that these people are like out and proud, and that they're not like hanging their heads in shame. It blows me away that they feel so comfortable that they can just brazenly be open about who they are like this without complete social ostracization. You know why they wear that hood though? I found this out not too long ago. They wear that hood because it obscures their height. It makes them it contributes to anonymity basically. Makes it harder for to identify them, which is the point, right? Used to go around burning crosses on people's lawns and stuff, marking them, threatening them, maybe even killing them, lynching them. And they didn't want to be identified, so they wore the hoods. Yeah, it's just bizarre to me that people can hold those types of events in Connecticut openly without complete social ostracization. Thanks for the voicemail. Just for one more thing, for the record, the KKK is not the only group that uses those hoods, and they're not the origin of the hood either. I think there's some Catholic tradition that uses those hoods. I forget. What's it called? Capriote? Yeah, I think that's it. A capriote is a Catholic pointed hat of conical form that is used in Spain and Hispanic countries by members of a confraternity of penitents. It's part of the uniform of such brotherhoods, including the Nazarenos. Okay, awesome name. Nazarenos and Phariseos during Easter observances and reenactments. And reenactments in some areas during Holy Week in Spain and its former colonies. Those similar hoods are common in other Christian countries such as Italy. So, yeah, they wear those pointed hats, and it's pretty crazy to see. It's just part of like the whatever, the celebration. Let me just show it. I'll pull it up here. Hang on. Here you go. Here's one of them. Here you go. More of them. That is wild, right? Wait, what's this? Is this one the KKK, the actual KKK? No, I think this is the Catholic one still. Wild, huh? Anyway, yeah. I saw a video forever ago of a black couple sitting on a balcony videotaping this and turning the camera and going, like, it's funny. They were making a joke of it. And yeah, I wanted to know why why people were doing that. That's nuts.
Hey Owen, this is Josh from Florida. I'm just calling to kind of like complain about the school system down here. I'm in college And in my humanities class today, the teacher said that the whole world asks, like, does God exist? And he said if you say no to that, in a long roundabout way, basically, he came to the conclusion that we're the same as animals. So if
Yeah, it's disturbing and messed up that a teacher is doing this in class, but we'll get to it. I'll let the caller continue.
if you say no, God doesn't exist, then you sorry, then you agree that having sex with animals is okay,
You had to censor some of it. You get the idea.
that grown men having kids is okay. Like, he was literally forcing people in class to go the yes route. God does exist. That religion keeps us like together or something. I don't know. But then he also said that if you do no, they'll try to put you in a cage. They did that to us 4 years ago, metaphorical cages. So I guess he's an anti-vaxxer or what, masker, whatever you call it. But gotta love Florida, man. It is just going to hell. Thank you.
Yeah, just going to hell, as Trump would say. You know, it's not just Florida. My kid has dealt with it, teachers trying to indoctrinate their students throughout her entire time in school, the whole time. Specifically in middle school, it was really bad in middle school, and they were absolutely insane. In high school, even though, in New York City, there's been some of that. Like teachers, well, teacher, really, not teachers, plural, but singular teacher, for the sake of anonymity, I'm not gonna like drag anybody down or anything, but she is a full-blown conspiracy theorist, as far as I can tell. Full-blown conspiracy theorist. Like she says things about like vaccines and the government keeping you dumb and Jesus nonstop. She's in the school system to praise Jesus and to bring students to him and all kinds of crazy stuff. So anyway, it happens, and it's illegal, but it happens anyway, because we're in a culture in which that kind of thing is not, like, punished. Nothing happens. People do that, and they feel comfortable with it, like the KKK. There was a point in time where they were super comfortable burning crosses on people's lawns. I don't think that they're as comfortable doing that nowadays. They have very much lost favor, the KKK has, but they used to run entire towns. They used to control everything. And if you were not white, then you weren't welcome there. I mean, real insane, crazy stuff. So until our culture changes to one that doesn't accept that kind of thing from teachers, like it changed to not accept cross burnings, we're not going to make any progress. We just have to call it out when we see it. That's all. But at least you are aware of what's happening. That's one point in the favor of separation of church and state. People being aware of what's happening.
Hey, it's Liv from Minnesota, and I know this is a really, really, really small nitpick, but I noticed that in like one of like the video you posted on Sunday the 15th, you said the word like Eskimo and like referring to like Inuit or something. I don't know if you were like saying that as a quote, but I don't think that word is like. I think Inuit might be the more proper term. I don't know. I haven't like researched the subject well enough, but like I think that's how it is. I don't know. Have a good day.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You are correct. It should be Inuit because that's the tribe. I was under the impression that Eskimo was just a different tribe in the region, but no, it's just been deprecated. I guess the word is supposed to be Inuit, so I didn't want that to slip by. I wanted to make sure that I addressed it. I said something about basically, I said that Eskimos have like 12 words for snow, and it was just a joke. I don't even know if that's true, but thanks for pointing that out. I appreciate it. Another problem that I have is I'm gonna say it for the sake of understanding. I'm obviously doing my best not to be, offensive or anything, but I'm reading a lot about World War II and Jehovah's Witnesses and the different religious groups that were persecuted by the Nazis. And one of those groups is the Gypsies. Now, I understand that overseas you're not supposed to say that. It's not well understood or not. It's not really a problem here in the United States as much. Most people don't realize that they're actually Roma. That's the name of the culture. It's the Roma people. But that's reasonably new, using the term Roma. All of the books that I've read on World War II, they all use the original name. And they were I don't have a book on World War II that's newer than like 2003. Maybe I have like one or two that might be older, or I'm sorry, might be newer. Most of them are from like 1970s, 80s, 90s, and maybe early 2000s. And they use that word freely because it's just, it's a description of what happened. That's what was in the Nazi like documentation and everything. So anyway, some things are offensive, some things aren't. Some things change from non-offensive to offensive. You just got to be aware of it. So anyway, gypsy is a slur since been used negatively. Yeah, that's what I've come to understand. Anyway, like I'm writing about it, not that specifically, just religion generally in World War II. And I haven't come to a part where I would have to reference that group, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do in my book if I do come to that point. Maybe make a clarification so people know. But anyway, yeah. I don't know. The point is, I appreciate you pointing that out. Yeah, I should be using Inuit instead.
Hey, Owen, this is Jordan from South Carolina. I've called in a few times before. I just wanted to make a little comment on, we're talking about Tim Pool being a Russian asset, which is something I'm sure we all saw coming. You're looking at the video of him and talking about Kamala and Black America. And he said, oh, I wonder what's under that beanie. Up under Tim Pool's beanie is probably a white hood. Thanks, man. Have a good one. Keep it up.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Actually, we don't have to wonder what's under Tim Pool's beanie. We know what's under his beanie. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Check it out. It's me. Look, it's me. Usually, when I see that, I'm live streaming and I can see myself waving, but no. Hey, this is me too. Here we go. I'm gonna take your hat when I see you, and you're not getting it back. Are you being serious, or is that a joke?
I'm looking for Tim Pool. Have you seen him? I don't even know who that is. Any Tim Pool around there? Yeah. I'm gonna steal his hat. It's a moment of truth.
Definition of the word big.
And noticeable.
All right, all right.
Yeah, that's that. I think that that's technically, that's violating personal space, taking somebody's things or messing with them. Or I don't condone that. But somebody did it, and now we know what's under that beanie. So,
Have a good day.
Bro, you come near me ever again, you won't have any teeth. You understand that?
I understand.
guy, I understand his upset. I get it. So I'm not gonna blame him for being upset.
Definition of the word big.
Boom. There you go. Now we know. Anyway, sorry. He looks so different, right? Without a beanie? That's crazy how different he looks. Wow. Yeah, thanks for the voicemail on that one. Not a white hood, even better.
Hi, Owen. It's me, Progress Only, Alex, Michigan, running for City Commission. So let you know, I did a business walk this weekend, talking to all of the businesses in my ward that were open. And the last guy I got to, I spent an hour with him, and he came up with almost every conspiracy that you have talked about in the past couple of years about Republicans, and brought it up as hard facts. And it is wild to me that he didn't peg me directly as someone who was against that stuff. Like, we're talking Hunter Biden laptop, Davos World Order. We're talking stuff that's just like, I just completely absent of reality. So just want to give you an update on how crazy that went. Have a good day.
Yeah, absolutely nuts, man. Some people that I come across are just like the nicest people, the most honest, genuine, good people. But they believe in the craziest stuff, like the Great Reset, and really esoteric stuff too, like the details of the Great Reset, like the specifics of it. or specifics of the first QAnon post ever. It's like you had to have researched for like literal days to come across some of the stuff that you believe if you like buy into all that. It's just nuts, man. Some people have too much time on their hands and are too conspiracy brained to know any better. You know how I know when a conspiracy is real or when it's fake? I'll tell you. If there is evidence for the conspiracy, then I'll believe it. And here's why I say that. The torture program that was run by the United States in Iraq was the most protected, top secret thing imaginable. If that got out, it meant it could mean George W. Bush was charged as a war criminal, because if he, gave the order or whatever, a whole bunch of people all the way up the chain could be charged as a war criminal by the International Criminal Court, The Hague. I mean, that is need to know stuff. And that got out. And it didn't even take that long. If there is something going on, it will come out. It will. I mean, Edward Snowden released the files about Prism that revealed that the government was like recording everything that everybody was doing, basically. Remember? Now, what would be involved in a conspiracy? How many people would you have to have keeping their mouths shut in a conspiracy to prevent anyone from realizing that the earth is really flat, for example? You'd have to have telescope manufacturers, globe manufacturers, airline pilots, researchers of all sorts, everybody, the entire math research segment of academia, and physics research segment. They'd all have to be in on this, secretly lying to you. The more people have to know about it to make it happen, the less likely it is that it's a conspiracy that hasn't been uncovered. The idea that COVID was bioengineered or whatever specifically to hurt people, there's no evidence of it. And if it were true, there would be evidence. It would have come out. Like, even in China, they're trying to not say anything about COVID, trying to prevent anyone from finding out that COVID was going on in China. And people found a way anyway, despite the Chinese safeguards against, the censorship, despite the censorship. So the point is that if it's secret, it will almost certainly eventually come out with evidence. There is zero evidence that COVID was bioengineered specifically as a bioweapon to blah, 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 blah. No evidence for that. Zero evidence that the vaccine, hurts people en masse. Zero evidence that it was intentionally designed to hurt people or whatever. Zero evidence for the Great Reset or any of the other stuff. That's how I know when a conspiracy theory is fake. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for the calls. Appreciate that.